I'm gonna have to use some people. Do you know? I'll ask her. No offense to men, but I'm gonna ask the woman because if I need help, what's your name, by the way? Sarah. Sarah? All right. So Sarah, if I need help with any technical terms, DSM-5. Are you well versed in the DSM-5? I'll talk to him. Sorry, sir. Now I'm back to you. I wish you could see him. He's like influencer therapist. This guy. Oh, he is? Yeah, he's been Mr. Beast's therapist for the past 3 years. It's really. I can't even count, but probably like 8, 9 therapists in my life, counting couples therapy. So it's not just me, psychotic. What are you applauding for? It's not like, you know what I mean? Obviously, the first 8 didn't really take. The last one just called me a complete asshole, and somehow that worked.
I don't have a diagnosis. I'm not sure. He's going to be in therapy for a while.
Well, I would say that I'm licensed in 2 states to say that he's a sociopath.
Oh, totally has PTSD, and I have a book for him.
Thanks for coming out, and thanks for letting me shoot this year. And I thought it'd be good for you too, give you guys a treat, get away from your job, you work hard all year, give you a chance to sit back, relax, do something different, listen to somebody rant about how the world has screwed them over for an hour, so. And I don't really, there's no pressure on me because I know you're trained to not laugh. So it's not like I expect you to be like, it's not like, you don't sit in your office and somebody's like, I dreamt a fountain was shooting water in my face, but it wasn't sexual. And you're like, wasn't sexual? What are you, an idiot? But yeah, I was walking around the conference all day. What a lobby. And, ornate, you know what I mean? What are they overcompensating for? Nah, that's for you to figure out, not me. But I was sitting in the lobby and, even if you didn't know, all you guys don't realize, in that lobby with those chairs, you all sit like therapists the whole time. Just covered like that, looking up from your glasses every once in a while. And I wanted to do this. Well, I think I wanted to do this because I did this show and there were 4 therapists in the crowd last year. I was over the world and I was like, oh my God, everything I said related to therapy. But that's why I think I want to do it. That's just my conscience. You guys will determine after the show why I really did this. But but I do feel like as a country we're in a meltdown, free fall, and nobody's in charge, so everybody's in charge. And that's what because social media, we're in a psych ward, and nobody seems to realize that. People still treat it like it's a country. We're in a psych ward. You guys may not have noticed because of the phone. Everybody walks around all day arguing with people that aren't there. We think the government's listening to us at all times. We think everybody else is a psyop or a plant. We walk outside in pajamas during the daytime. We take medication on a regular basis over the course of the day. We play games and puzzles to keep ourselves from going crazy. We all think we have delusions of grandeur. Everybody walks around because of the phone. People walk around all day. I condemn all, okay, you're not the Archbishop of Canterbury. You don't get to condemn. I call on all, okay, you're in a gas station toilet. I don't know how much leverage you're. And everyone thinks they're a therapist. I don't know if you've noticed. Everyone thinks, because of the phone. You ask anybody, how you doing? Good, I realized I had undiagnosed anxiety, so I self-diagnosed it, and now it's come with a certain amount of challenges, and I have PTSD for my ADHD, and I'm bipolar on my mother's side. I did a 23andMe and found that out, and I'm not pre-diabetic, but I'm post-diabetic, and that comes with its own. I have seasonal attachment disorder, which I can't let go of the seasons till I'm halfway through the next one, and I have environmental codependency, was sort of related to that, and I have a touch of autism. Why do people decide they can have a touch of autism? It's a real thing, autism. People are like, I have it sometimes. You're uncomfortable in conversations at a party doesn't mean you can say. Medical appropriation. So yeah, but look, you guys know I'll tell you right now, here's the thing. It's a lot easier because right now, one of the big things, identity. Some of the things you've discussed this weekend, identity. First of all, your identity's not even who you are. Your identity's who the government says you are. And the government thinks you are, that's your identity. Your personality is who the people that know you think you are. Your reputation is who the people that don't know you think you are. Your social media profile is who you think you are. And your browser history is who you are. So I think your job would be a lot easier if you just call people in and say, let me just see your browser history. Don't clear your browser history for a week before you come in here. Yeah, that's one of those things. You go to heaven, there's St. Peter. What is this? And you're like, I had a complicated relationship with my stepmother. First of all, I think we should talk about that before And the other thing is authentic. First of all, everybody's like, your authentic self. There's even a thing today about your authentic self. Nobody mentions your authentic self, not your best self, by the way. We keep trying to achieve something that's not even the best you. The best you is fake you. Ask whoever loves you the most, your spouse, whoever, when you go home, say, would you rather I start relating to you in that fake, superficial way that I do with people at work or at the conference, like over-the-top friendly, helpful, always in a good mood, dressed up nice, or my authentic self that you see, mildly depressed, emotionally unavailable, passive-aggressive, usually in some sort of sweatpant. And they say, let's never see the real you again as long as we live there. The real you, it's so ironic, we're trying to get to the real, authentic person. They're not welcome in society. I don't know how much more you could, much more feedback you could get. The real you is not welcome. What do you think HR is telling you? Don't bring your real self into this job. You're trying to get people to get their real, they're gonna get fired if they go into work as the real them. You go to HR, they're like, no, don't bring your sense of humor here. Don't bring your political opinions in here. Yeah, because HR, first of all, when I was growing up, HR didn't even exist. It was called personnel. There was no HR, personnel. It was one little old lady, ate lunch by herself. She didn't even have an office. Her desk be in the hallway one day, by the elevator the next day, by the bathroom. She's trying to control the uncontrollable, people back then. Like, hey, stop putting your cigarettes out in other people's coffee cups. We sent a memo about this. It's kind of important. No hard liquor before 9:30 a.m. It's not casual Friday. Now HR, they're like the mafia. They walk in. People are like, HR just walked in. Don't say anything. Don't do anything while they're here. They walk around. How you doing? Is anybody making you uncomfortable? Is anybody bothering you right now? You're like, no. Okay, you let me know. I'll take care of it. No, that's fine. They're the law enforcement arm of the office. Just think, there's a law enforcement arm in your office. That's psychotic. You'll see, 5 years from now, you'll see, 5 years from now, there'll be no more Law and Order, no more NCIS. Every cop show is going to be HR. There are two separate but very important groups in every office. These sexist pigs, and those of us assigned to stop them, these are their stories. So. Like, what do you got? Possible 311, mansplaining in progress. Get over there. Like, who is it, him? Yeah, bring him in the gender-neutral bathroom. I want to talk to the son of a bitch. They bring him in for the interrogation. Did you call your supervisor shrill? Is that the word you used? You use hysterical to call her? No, I don't use adjectives. I know better. I read the manual. No adjectives. No nouns, because they can be, I haven't used a pronoun in 4 years. I don't know about, mostly adverbs. It's an adverb culture at this point. Maybe, allegedly, supposedly, possibly, probably. Thank you. Thank you. Try not to applaud. I'm Irish. We don't respond well to applause. I don't know why. we're impervious, according to Freud, impervious to, you know what I mean? Irish people, impervious, not impervious, whatever the word is, immune to therapy. That's Freud's story. I'll tell you a little more about me later, and you'll realize, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe there's a point to it. I got a lot to say about Freud, by the way. One of the things, before I go back to Freud, I'll digress for a second. Here's the thing about Freud that bothers me, is that, yes, he had some great things, but he also was like, you know, sex is in everything. He's like, see that building? It looks like a penis. And you're like, yeah, if you're 4 years old, what the hell? Those mountains look like tits, once again, under... It's like, woohoo, what the... A lot of things are shaped like breasts and penises, I hate to tell you, Sigmund. Go to the first name base with him, yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, everybody, first of all, here's what it did. Among the things, because the whole plan is HR, and every job is HR now, by the way, even the blue collar jobs are HR. That's how it's spread to society. Even the blue collar jobs, which I never thought I would see the day, but they get the spirit, but not the letter of the law. You go to a mechanic, he's trying, but he's like, hey, take down the titty calendar, you retard, you're offending everybody. It's like, all right, sir. That would be the definition of one step forward, 2 steps back, if I've ever heard. But HR, it started for the right reason. Power corrupts like anything else. It started because guys are animals. You know how it is. Guys, I don't mean animals in the good sense, like you guys probably think animal, but, no. You saw Mad Men, guys were, you saw they were behaving, whatever they get away with. And we had to control it. HR started, got too crazy. But before that, guys didn't behave like that. You're saying, why was that? Because religion. People don't like to admit the truth. The Catholic Church was HR for this entire planet for 600 years. Except for themselves, of course, but, you know, they can't watch everything. Ooh, edgy, I know, I'm going to the church in 2024, but even in Vatican City, people wouldn't be offended by that, so please, don't worry about it. Yeah, and now the whole planet is HR. The whole planet, because of the phone, it's the golden age of snitches and tattletales. Everybody's a Karen, not just the Karens. People that film Karens and go, look what this Karen did. That's a Karen move too. Filming a Karen and posting it is the ultimate Karen move. It's the ultimate Karen. You're Karening a Karen. And yeah, and it made everybody feel like alter ego. I know I'm stepping into territory like that's not really technically alter ego, but just bear with me, okay? I'm gonna have to use some people. Do you know? I'll ask her. No offense to men, but I'm gonna ask the woman because if I need help, what's your name, by the way? Sarah. Sarah? All right. So Sarah, if I need help with any technical terms, DSM-5, am I gonna blow up your spot by you not knowing him? Because I don't want to ruin your. Are you well versed in the DSM-5? I'll talk to him. Sorry, sir. Now I'm back to you. I know she puts me on this kid. I wish you could see him. He's like influencer therapist. This guy. Oh, he is? Yeah, he's been Mr. Beast's therapist for the past 3 years. It's really every time Mr. Beast does something psychotic, they bring him in. No, you're young. It's good. I was just joking around, of course, you know. But what is your name?
Matthias.
Matthias. Okay. Whoa, very biblical. Very formidable, Matthias. And I'll just ask you, and you just, you know, if I go like, you know, like this, you'll know I need some terminology. I know some of it. I'm not going to pretend to false humility. You can see already, I'm not, you know what I mean? And Lord knows I've been in therapy, 1 or 2. I can't even count, but probably like 8, 9 therapists in my life. Counting couples therapy, so it's not just me psychotic. What are you applauding for? It's not like, you know what I mean? Obviously the first 8 didn't really take. The last one just called me a complete asshole, and somehow that worked. He just kept looking at me with a look like, you're an idiot. And I was like, I don't like this, but, you know, stayed there 5 years, must have done something, man. Back to business. So I was saying, so here's what I'm saying, is alter ego, that's the term I'll use. I'm sure you could say, you know, we'll get into, so alter ego, basically that's what social media gave everybody a chance to be who you want to be. What is the term for that? Not alter ego.
Persona?
All right, persona. Let's say persona. Well, don't question like I know the answer. He goes, just got him up here in a jacket. He's like, hey, he must be the teacher. So I don't have the masters or whatever you have. All right, let's say persona for now. You know what I mean? I know you have a different answer, but she's like, well, I don't know, Matthias. I think it's sorry. My point is the persona. Everybody gets to be whatever you've decided your life, your persona, where you want to be. So everybody gets, because of social media, you know, everybody gets, hecklers can be comedians can be statesmen, jocks can be political pundits, and nerds can be tough guys. This is the first time in history, by the way, that you can threaten somebody, curse them out, and not either have to run or have a physical confrontation. So fight or flight instinct is going to be eliminated from our genetic structure. For the survival of the species, if people go back and forth more than 3 times, we should force them to fight. Fly them out to a stadium, get the announcer. In this corner, he's a shut-in from Seattle who seems to have had a psychotic break between the last 2 Batman movies. We don't know what that's about, but I'm sure there's a Reddit thread that can explain it to you if you're that interested. And in this corner, she's a soccer mom from Iowa that claims to have had it up to here with all this nonsense. So let's get ready to rumble. Because manners are gone because there's no repercussions for not having manners. Manners got invented to stop people from bloodshed. Even the Middle Ages, as violent as that was, if the Montagues and Capulets had met in a courtyard in Corona and spoke the way we speak every day on socials, it would have been 10 times bloodier. If you went in there and they were like, do you quarrel, basic bitch? Like, pray, who is this soy boy, your grace? Heed him not, he's clickbait, chasing clout to make ambition virtue. Virtue to signal, so shall you be ratioed. You mad, bro? Yes, but method in it. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Slay, queen, then let this edgelord be vanquished. Incel, cuckold, troll, thought. You want smoke? Come, I am your match. Away, snowflake. I will watch thee melt. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. I know there's a couple of the older therapists in their tweed jackets on. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but look. I'm your generation. You should be. But it created opinion addicts. There's addicts, people who are addicted to giving their opinion. And in the old days, because it's like any other addiction. You'll know who the addicts are. Some people abuse it. If the internet goes down, they'll be in front of 7-Eleven like any other addict, but trying to give their opinion. Just be like, hey. Like, leave me alone. Come on, let me tell you where to go to the season finale of Suits. I just started watching it last year. It's really important. My top 10 Radiohead songs. This is important, you know. I'll break it down because Matthias, Sarah, you guys are even probably too young for the beginning. In the beginning of all this, no opinion. It was Facebook. It was all positive. Just a bunch of jolly ladies, inspire potential, strive to achieve, you know, make passion opportunity. You know, it sounded nice, a sunset in the background, a unicorn, you know, smile at the raindrops like nobody's watching, whatever. It doesn't matter. Social media was like a fun ant's kitchen. That's basically what happened. And then one day, somebody's like, who's loving this sun? No opinion, just statements. And somebody goes, fuck the sun and fuck you, you fat bitch. And everybody goes, what? And it opened the door to our lonely, angry, horny selves. And new group emerged, the amateur critic, pundit, nutritionist, comedian. Suddenly, that nice lady is like posting, Kelly Clarkson's a slut, fight me, you know? And like I said, everybody became who they want to be. I follow people on social media that I see that they've left out part of their brain to be who they want to be, and I must be doing the same thing, you know? I follow O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson on social media, he's not the murderer. He's not the guy that was falsely convicted of murder. No, it's not even part of the O.J. thing. He gets on there every day, never mentions anything negative. He's just like, hey gang, hope you're having a blessed day today. I'm playing some golf down here about 80 degrees, just loving life, and hope you're doing something you love. It's important, you know? And there's like 20 idiots. They're like, thanks, OJ, you've gotten me through some tough times lately. Yeah. His persona is OJ 1991, when everybody loved OJ. He's erased all the negative from the past 30 years. And he's like, I'm rebranding. This is OJ 1991. I follow Ayatollah Khomeini on social media. He's on there all the time. And again, he's not Mr. like, death to America, death to Israel. He says that, often. But he started to get in, he started to get feedback from young people, and you could see him change. And suddenly he's trying to be Mr. Motivational Speaker too. But when he says it, it's just chilling because you consider the source, So he's like, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm like, I don't know about that one out of you. He's like, live every day like it's your last. Okay, that's where I draw the line, because that sounds like a message. Yeah, and everybody changed. Snitches became monitors, obsessives, influencers, people who like to start shit, disruptors. People are debating senators online while they're surrounded by mice and empty cookie wrappers. And it's like anything else. We built it up to where your resistance, like any addiction, you got to keep increasing the dosage. So now, they said the average American, 96 times a day is how often we go on our phone. 96 times a day. No, nobody does anything 96 times. Nobody checks in on the newborn baby 96 times a day. If you look at your baby 40 times a day, they'll take the baby away from you. The baby will be like, what is going on? Who's this? If your neighbor looks out the window 96 times a day, you'll call the SWAT team and say, there's a meth addict, he's about to explode, get rid of him. And it started Facebook in the beginning. Facebook was happy. You guys were probably little kid. Facebook was like, hey, guys, hit up my wall. I want friends. Oh. And you're like, oh my God, pictures of my relatives. It was mutual. Then after a couple of years, the addiction, it's not enough. I don't want friends, I want followers. I want you to follow me. I want you to watch me eat. I want you to watch me work out. And then after a few years, that's not enough. I want subscribers. Followers, I don't want follow. I want you to pay to watch me eat and watch me work out. And slowly, it kept building up to where people start getting to this place where it's like, I want you to watch me get naked and play Fortnite. And everybody lost their mind. And you see it. Look at, perfect example, Jake Paul. Jake Paul started as this cute blonde kid. All the girls are like, let's watch Jake fall off his skateboard. He was like a little prankster, fun guy. Now, he's literally fighting Mike Tyson. This little surfer kid is fighting Mike Tyson. He went from this fun guy, hey, look at him out at the beach, and now he's walking around scarred. Yeah, I'm ready to die just to keep engagement. That's how you have to be, Yeah, and it became, all the challenges changed. And it's all comments. By the way, what's happening here live right now, this is not live. This doesn't matter. It's filmed. The comments when we post this, that's all that matters. That's reality. This is not reality. It used to be the comments were the shadow. Now, this is the shadow, okay? Comments are reality because this is temporary. The internet is forever. It's immortal. They could be watching this on another planet 30 billion years from now. That's what's so saying. And it's all comments. What's real? What we say or what people are saying about what we say. Notes, flags, comments, likes, thoughts, input, suggestions. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? What Henry Ford did, automation, what Henry Ford did with the car, that's what Steve Jobs did for the assholes. He let all the people that like to talk shit, that don't do anything, it's an assembly line. The power shift is people who argue and have more time in their hands. They set the tone in society, and you wonder why it's the way it is. You know what I mean? The less you do, the more important you are. Jobs don't matter. It's if you're influencer, brand ambassador, OnlyFans, gamers, YouTube, FaceTime, streamers. I stream, you stream, we all stream for Twitch stream. There's no paywall for carpenters or nurses. Have you noticed that? Yeah, because the money, the advertisers are like, give this kid $20,000 a month. What does he do? What does he do? He goes on escalators and pinches people's asses. What are you talking about? He's the voice of a generation. It's really important. He sucker punches people at water parks. I think there's a lot to say you should be listening to right now. This lady cracks eggs on her baby's heads. She's the Michelangelo of a generation. Oh, you gotta eat Benadryl and fucking hot peppers and play Russian roulette. We've lost our goddamn minds and nobody seems to know. You know what I mean? He dumps people's coffee out at Starbucks. You gotta talk to yourself, you know? And it made us all aware you're under surveillance all day. You're the celebrity and paparazzi at all times. Your life could be taken down. You have to be afraid of people you never met. That's the first time in history. That your life could be destroyed by like a 12-year-old Bulgarian kid's thumb in 1 second. Yeah, and no one talks like themselves. Speaking of persona, nobody talks like themselves. Everybody kind of speaks because there's no private self, because there's no privacy. You're in an 8 billion person group text at all times. And like a group text, you have the one person trying to be funny, you have the one person that's inappropriate, you have the one person that's just trying to organize everybody together that's lonely, you know. And even if you don't go on social media, you're surrounded by people with phones at all times that could choose to make you famous. You know what I mean? And you have to be careful how you act. Look, any of you, if you're at a ball game with your shirt off covered in beer and one of your patients sees you, that's not what you want, you know? And everybody, that's how it is. Everybody is at all time, nobody speaks the way they actually speak. Everybody speaks everybody speaks therapist. It's so weird. They've totally stolen your entire language. Politicians speak therapeutically. In the old days, politicians were themselves. John F. Kennedy was the nice president. You know what his motto was? Don't ask what we can do for you. Ask what you could do for us. And people were like, what a nice guy. Imagine if you said that today. People would be like, somebody better get back in the book depository. This guy didn't hear you the first time, you know. Now politicians talk like therapists. They're like, a lot of people, in the old days they talk about jobs, food. Now, a lot of people don't feel seen. That's one of the problems going on. A lot of people don't feel a part of, and I think that's something I'm going to change. A lot of people don't feel noticed. Only in this country, the luxury of wanting to be noticed. Go anywhere and go to China tomorrow, grab any citizen and go, hey, the government said they noticed you. They'll be like, fuck. What's the matter? I got to get out of here. That's what's the matter. Government said they noticed me. This is bad news. Yeah. The corporations talk like therapists now. In the old days, corporations, you knew where you stood with them because they had to tell, they were themselves at least. You know, they'd be like, I remember the commercial I was growing up, it was like, we're Mobil Oil and don't you dare fucking forget it. You're like, okay, that's really right to the point. Now, they come out, it's like, we here at DuPont Chemical are actively engaged in trying to amplify voices that have traditionally been marginalized. And with that, we formed an ongoing partnership with Young Thug that we think best exemplifies that we believe Black Lives Matter. And some of our best friends are black. Ask Young Thug, he'll tell you all about it. Show business people all talk therapy now. They win awards. Once again, when I was growing up, the award, they were superficial people, but they were themselves. Come out with a drink and a cigarette. Hey, thank you for this award. I'd like to, 8 weeks of night shoots, it was tough. I'd like to thank my Coke dealer. We never would have got through without him. The whole audience would be like, what's the Coke dealer's number? Can I write that down? Now they come out and it's, this award, it's the most solemn, it's an award show. It's very important and very cathartic, apparently. This award reminds me that I have to do the work. I have to educate myself. I have to speak up as an ally and also take a back seat as a colonizer and have the difficult conversations that you will see in Aquaman and The Lost Horizon 2. I'd like to thank my manager for giving me agency and my agency for giving me adjacency to my manager. And I'd like to acknowledge that I stand on stolen ground and because that's my other theory. That's the USA, our country has no self. It has no, it's a lot. We have multiple personality. I know you call it. I forget what it's called. Dissociative. I wrote it down. Dissociative identity. You know, this is all stuff I've never done before. Not all of it, but 90 or 50%, whatever. Yeah, because nobody can decide if we're the land of opportunity or land of disparity and inequity, and we can't be both, God forbid, at the same time. So the core personality and the alters. See, Matthias, not bad. You know, I barely know what I'm saying, but you understand. But ego, okay, super ego, and id, okay? So let's say ego is my wife is here. Super ego is my wife is here. And id is my wife is here. So, same thing with the country. You say this country is shit or this country is perfect. Instead of saying this country has many aspects to it, right? We can't be in the middle. So here's what I'm saying. And you're going to say, it sounds pandering, not to you guys, but to the audience at home, so don't applaud when I say this, or else they're going to say that pandering fuck. See, even I'm worried about the comments. I'm commenting on the comment. This is the problem. There's so many layers now to everything. I used to look at my phone, a little digression again. I used to look at my phone, and I would be like, oh, you know, I'm watching a video. I can't believe it. I'm so lucky to watch a video on my phone. This is crazy. Then I stopped watching video on my phone. I can only watch 2 minutes or under on my phone video. Then that's too much time. I read the comments to decide if the video's worth watching. Then I started only watching, like 3 months ago, reaction videos because I'm too lazy. I want somebody else to react for me. And then next I'll be reading comments to reaction videos and see how that goes. So here's what I was going to say, and I don't want people to play, is we try a psychiatrist president because the country's in free fall. We've lost our mind. We're having a psychotic breakdown. Okay? Psychiatrist president. First of all, you have a psychiatrist president. They'll win the debate. Trump, Biden, psychiatrist, they'll win the debate, right? Because Biden will just be like, you know, he's at that point now. God bless him. He leaves his shoes in the refrigerator. You know, he's one of the... He's like, where are my shoes? I'm right here. These shoes are freezing. Somebody better get me new shoes. Want my shoes? But they win a debate easily. Just be like, you know, I'm going to say 3 words to you in the middle of the debate. What? Talking about my fiscal policy. Yes. Repeat back to me. Banana, sunrise, chair. You'll beat him right there. I want you to draw a clock for me, you know. And Trump, you know, all you do is just sit there and wait for him to go on the rant and they go, you mention low IQ people and losers a lot. That's a big insult. What does a winner look like to you, do you think, you know? And be like, well, a winner is somebody, sounds strict, sounds like a lot of chaos in your family growing up. They put a lot of stock in winners. You'll be like, you keep saying this is going to be the most beautiful debate ever. Like, do you feel pressure to deliver something spectacular and beautiful all the time? You know how hard it is to insult Trump and not get a laugh? But I just did it. It's almost impossible. That's remarkable. Not what I had planned, but you know what? I honor this moment. I acknowledge that I'm feeling depressed and less than. But here's the problem. Because first of all, it's no secret to anybody, we live in 2 cults right now. The left and the right are both cult-like in their nature. The right is kind of a combination, David Koresh meets Jimmy Buffett concert. You know, they have that death spiral, but at the same time look like they're living in a Jimmy Buffett show. When they leave it, they're laughing, they're, you know, drunk, and their hair's messed up, and their shirt's untucked, and the left, their cult's like the Manson family because they speak love and equality and beautiful words. And the minute they don't get their way, we figured out what to do. Kill the pigs. That's our solution. Because they're both extremists, kind of rigid, inflexible, but they recite cults. The left's cult is language, your language. They're like, the problem is implicit, inherent, unconscious, cultural sublimation. And the right is like, dismantle the IRS and the FBI and the whole federal government except the president. And here's the question a lot of people ask. Why would, for example, hardworking, honest Christians support a hedonistic, kind of intemperate pagan, right? You can't figure it out. Why would people who believe in tolerance, believe in inclusion, flexibility, become the censors and thought police who shut speakers like the shadow? That's what it's all about. Those are their shadows. Trump is yeah. You know, somebody didn't applaud that, and it's not like I have to beg for applause. Just imagine the work I put in, how proud I was. Thank God for Pius and Sarah. Listen to me. Listen. Because here's what it is. Christians want the id, and the left wants the superego. So they want to be this. And so you've got the right and the left. Giddy idiocy and Taliban level tolerance. But a psychiatrist would not be a good president because you guys would put it right back on the people. And that's the one thing you can't do. You can criticize the Senate, can criticize Congress. Congress can criticize the president. Corporation. Nobody's allowed to go, listen, what about you guys? And you're like, what? Yeah, people are like, the system's unfair. Okay, what would fair look like? Hey, what is this bullshit, you know? You speak out against climate change a lot. Do you feel worried about climate change? Do you feel like you need to change, and that's why you talk about climate change? You talk about exceptionalism. Do you feel pressure to be unique? And hey, too many questions. Bring on the empty suits back, you know? Yeah, because what is it? I mean, if you want to break it down psychologically, Mother England, the Founding Fathers issues, and it all ends up, I mean, or you could go, forget about Freud, Carl Jung, right? Because Steve Jobs, here's what I realized. I mean, once again, in over my head, but pretending I'm not, but archetypes, well, that's the easy one. Anyone can say young archetypes, but thank you. You know what I'm saying, Matthias. I don't even like saying the first name of a therapist, but you're so much younger than me, I can say it. But I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? If I was going to Young, I wouldn't be like, Carl, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, Sigmund. Hey, what's happening? Guten Tag. You know. Hey, BF, you're my BFF. BF. Skinner. The behaviorists like that one. Yeah, Matthias probably calls his patients nicknames when they come in. What's up, Slick? How you doing? Sit down, badass. Let's talk about what's going on this week. Wild man. This guy's the wild man over here. What'd you do this week, huh? What was I saying? Doesn't matter. Oh, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. So here's the story. Steve Jobs, important because Steve Jobs, really, if you look at the breakdown of our society, the big mistake, one of the horrible things about social media, it made everybody feel like they had to be intelligent. That's one of the problems. Everybody feels like they have to be deep politically. And one thing about our country, I've been here my whole life. That's not our brand. Listen to me. And I'm talking about everybody. That's France. They're like 15-year-old kids, the duopoly of fiscal federalism, Madisonian, you know. We're the fun country. We're the country, you come over, there's a barbecue, put you in a headlock, you know, a little too familiar, grab your balls, always have jumper cables. We're the country, always has jumper cables, nothing wrong with that. And we decided to be cerebral and political the past 12, 14 years. Nobody used to talk about politics like this. Don't take my word for it. Go online after the show. I don't care if it's intellectuals, academics, politicians, anybody. After 3 and 4 interactions, it's, fuck you, you dumb piece of shit. That's not a sign of intelligent political discourse, okay? And this is why the internet, because when Bill Gates ran the internet, I give him credit for one thing. He knew it was only for math genius nerds. That's what the internet's for. People forgot that. Math geniuses. When Bill Gates ran it, you weren't allowed to use the internet unless you had a math. You had to go to like 8 math colleges. They let you use the computer, lock the door, and you'd leave campus and nobody could use it. Even 20 years ago, if you wanted to use the internet, you had to go to a cafe, buy a cup of coffee and a muffin, and 3 nerds would be watching you, And if you're on there for more than 20 minutes, they'd be like, hey, there's some problem. This guy's causing a problem right now. And then Steve Jobs comes along. I have a computer. I have my own computer because of Steve Jobs. So I'll tell you my math history. In 5th grade, I was like a math prodigy. I'm not even kidding. At the multiplication tables, I swear, Sarah, give me any multiplication table. 4 times 6, 24. We never met before just this tonight. I could do that all day with the single digit ones, I swear to God. But so I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was in like the top 6 out of 30 kids in the class. And then in 6th grade, they brought an X on the board. And I'm like, why is there an X in math? This is, you know what I mean? Math, you don't use letters, numbers. And the teacher explained the abstract, whatever, the nature of algebra. And I just remember thinking, I'm tapping out. I'm done. I don't understand this, which is fine. I don't understand to this day algebra, geometry, any of it, which is fine. That's just how my mind works. But because I can't understand that, I probably should not be allowed to own my own personal computer. Not everybody's supposed to own everything. It's like if we walked out here, they gave us all helicopter licenses and said, yeah, fly around, you'll figure it out. And it brought the fall of man. Because the fall of man in the Bible is what? This is why I say young, like that. Fall of man is the tree of knowledge in the Bible, right? That's Genesis, tree of knowledge. All the knowledge in the world. Sound familiar? The internet. And Adam and Eve, who represent us, not supposed to have access to it. Only God is supposed to have access to it, because if man gets access to it, we'll destroy the world when we get access to it. This is in the Bible. I'm not making any of this. But of course, we wanted Adam and Eve get it. What's the first thing they do? They get it. They see each other naked. What's the first thing we did when the internet came out? We looked at each other naked for 7 years. And then this Steve Jobs, who everybody said was kind of evil, names his company Apple. Now, if he named it Apple and he goes, I named it after the Garden of Eden because of the tree of knowledge, I would have been fine. He goes, no, I named it after the Beatles record company. Nobody names a company after another company's That's ridiculous. But look, that's what, it's an inside joke with him and the devil. I don't know, but yeah, that's the message. Technology advances, we say the same. 7 deadly sins, only now they're digital. Facebook is envy, Twitter is wrath, Instagram is pride, lust, gluttony, greed, and sloth. But the time flies. And Tower of Babel is TikTok, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, because that's what's so sad. Like all these years later, and where are we going? And what is our final identity going to be? Because ultimately, the last words, the legacy, the epitaph of the United States would be nice. We certainly broke a lot of things open, but if you say that now, people are, you're dumb. If you go, there's a lot of good things in America. People are like, oh my God, you hear the psycho? Would you rush the Capitol? And I wasn't saying, did you rush the Capitol? I was saying, I was playing a character. Never mind. But yeah, because what's our epitaph? I had a heart attack like 5-6 years ago, and as I'm in the ambulance on my way to the hospital, my heart stops, and I go, motherfucker. Like, that was my last words. That could have been my epitaph for life. When your life, I'm not Avon Barksdale, you know what I mean? I'm not, no, nobody. All right, like, we were busy studying while you were watching The Wire. All right. But in fairness to me, it's probably in the top 5 last words of all time. Motherfucker's probably number 5. Number 4 is probably, do you smell gas? Number 3 is almost definitely, no, let me talk to him. Number 2 could be, I said the power's off, relax. And number 1 is almost definitely, I don't think you have the balls. But what are our last words going to be? America, what's our last? Because they're going to judge us. History judges you, and archaeologists are going to dig us up one day and judge us. Because that's an archaeologist's job, is to dig up ex-empires and go, oh, here's where they fucked up. And they won't know what we were. They'll be misjudged. They'll be hundreds of years from now. They'll be like, I guess those golden arches must have been their churches because they're all over the place. We probably misjudged ancient Egypt. The pyramids might have been the fast food franchise of ancient Egypt. I don't know. The Dead Sea Scrolls might have been the CVS rewards points cards of, yeah, because our epitaph, legacy, Rome had theirs, Veni Vidi Vici. That was there, England, the sun finally set on the British Empire. We have low set. We won't. If it ends tomorrow, we don't even have one. They'll be like, what do you guys want to end? We'll be like, America, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Does that count? They'll be, isn't that a Myrtle Beach t-shirt shop slogan? We're like, okay. What's wrong with that? Well, that would be appropriate if they end on a nice Myrtle Beach t-shirt shop slogan. Those things are kind of profound sometimes in their own way anyway. And all the historians will be trying to decipher our meaning, just like we do. They'll probably be like, what do you think they meant by 90% angel, 10% naughty? Do you think there was a... They were very celestial people, I guess, in many... It says here they were drinkers with a fishing problem. They must have been aquatic people, and that must have led to their demise. Yeah, it'll be some... hundreds of years, they'll find the lost civilization, call all the people together. We found it. The United States, the first representative democracy, the place where anybody could say whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. And they'll be like, well, what did they curate that down to for their last statement? And their leader will have to go, well, according to this t-shirt we found, this shroud that says they were here for a good time, not for a long time. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Before I leave, let me tell you I'll tell you, there's a few therapy stories I can tell you, but I'll tell you about my friend Mike. He goes to a therapist in New York. He was a retired cop. It's like 30 years ago. The whole time the cop's talking to my friend Mike, he went to the guy a bunch of times. Every time he crossed his leg, his ankle holster would show. Not my friend, the therapist. Something to think about. Sometimes a gun is just a gun. All right, thank you guys very much. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Diagnosis.
I think he has a little ADHD.
ADHD and a touch of autism.
Sentence completion disorder because of ADHD.
Adjustment disorder with depressed anxiety and mixed mood.
It's an adjustment disorder.
Folie à deux, which is sort of, it's like a dissociative disorder where he believes in his own illusions. Yeah.
Easy to say because I'm in show business to say narcissistic personality disorder.
I don't know that Colin has a diagnosis.
I think he's on the other end. I think he is a therapist.
Crime.
I think the worst thing Colin could do is maybe not pick up after his dog in the park. I mean, he's a good guy.
Probably fight somebody in the subway.
I mean, I want to say murder right away. Of course, everybody probably says murder.
Vandalism strikes me as a vandal.
A crime of passion. Take your pick.
Colin would steal your wallet and help you look for it.
My final epitaph. Gee, you asked these people that?
He's done other things other than SNL.
I don't know. I've never heard of him until tonight.
I came, I saw. That's it.
What do you want from me?
Super sweet guy. Yeah, just super sweet guy.
How about he didn't pander, even in death.
I think that's a wrap.